Good afternoon, guys and dolls. We welcome you to another interesting and exciting episode of Spotlight. This afternoon, we welcome an award winning and seasoned actor who has been part of the Repertory Philippines family since its 41st season in 1990. I was 10 back then. Gracing the stages of iconic venues from the Insular Theater to onstage Greenbelt in over 100, oh wow, 120 productions under, of course, its founder, Zenaida Amador and Baby Barredo. As its new artistic director, he will bring his extensive experience and unique outlook to the current theater landscape, grounded in his time on stage, in the academe, and other entertainment fields. The spotlight is on, of course, for Jeremy Domingo. Good afternoon, Jeremy. Welcome to
Good
Spotlight.
afternoon, Kim. Great to be here. Thank you.
Right. I'm so happy. I didn't imagine I will interview him. Okay, let's start our conversation. So, of course,
Right.
you started with rep in 1990, right?
Yes, that's right.
So, what was it like?
Well, I started kasi with an acting workshop.
Okay.
It was the summer between my, let's not do the math, but between first and second year college.
Okay.
I was studying political science in UP Manila, of all places, before I shifted to UP Diliman, where I took up English. Summer of 1990, I took an acting workshop with, it was in Land Bank in Buendia. Rep was still in Insular Life back then. And my teacher was Rosalind Perez, who is herself an award-winning actress. So from that summer, 1990, there were auditions for The King and I later that year. For my first audition, July 1990, I have
Right.
not stopped since. So I've been with Rep ever
Wow.
since then. Yeah.
So, political science, and then you went into theater. So,
I went to theater.
what's the reason or why?
Well, true love. I come from
Right.
yeah, I come from a family of diplomats. My father, my aunt, and my only brother
Right.
are all career diplomats in the Department of Foreign Affairs. Because of that, I was born abroad. I was born in San Francisco. We
Right.
lived in Germany, Hawaii, Brunei. There were so many experiences, but the way I would process it is it was my love for film, my love for
Very
TV, for trivia, and everything. I really wasn't into theater all that much until around high school. I did my first play in second year high school. And then when there was a chance to do theater professionally, I wanted to give it a try. So keeping the door open, mag-shift na ako sa English. So kung topakin ako, I'll suddenly decide to become a lawyer or a diplomat. At least
Right.
I'll have that foundation. But yan, nakagat ako ng theater bug
Right.
in 1990. And from that first workshop, tuloy-tuloy na since my first production in
Yeah, I
90.
can see that, and because you're still here in the industry until
Yes.
now. So yeah, tuloy-tuloy nga yun.
Right,
I
right.
agree with that. So of course you're with Rep ever
Yes.
since, and I love Rep. So I want to know, what was your fondest memory with Rep?
Oh, okay.
Of course, we're gonna talk about production,
Yeah, yeah.
actors, experiences.
Well, of course,
Maybe you can share.
like we were chatting even before, there's so
Right.
many experiences, even just beyond the productions themselves. I mean, these people become your family because you're with them year in and year out.
Right.
You share rehearsal time, backstage space. For the 120 productions I did, only 55 of them were with Rep. When I wasn't doing a Rep show, I would act with other companies, with Dula and UP, with
Right.
Dramatis Person, and even Resorts World in the last decade. But in Rep, I think one of my fondest memories was the play Our Town in 2001. Auspicious dahil that was the first straight play staged at RCBC. It was newly opened, the Carlos B. Romulo Theater. And it was my first real lead in Rep. I was playing the role of the stage manager. And Our Town, it's an American drama,
Yes.
Thornton Wilder, 1920s, where as a narrator, it's a bare stage that you have a ladder representing a tree, and you have chairs playing, made up to be gravestones. But in the cast was Baby Barredo, Joy Verata, Miguel Faustman.
Oh my God.
That's I think 11 years into being an actor. When I was acting with my mentors on stage, I could really see that when they're actors, they only wear the actor's hat. And when you get to know them, you really see their love for the theater. That they don't impose their being directors, although they're the ones who trained me.
Right.
That I had the most lines. I had to narrate. I had a 3-page monologue with a ladder describing it as a tree. So it was really a stretch of the imagination. And that was really a production that I really enjoyed because and um, that was really where I got that sense of this is what I want to keep on doing for the rest
Right.
of my life.
Yeah, and I remember you, of course, when I was still in college. I can't remember the first production that I saw with you, but I know that you're a good actor back then because I
Thank
was,
you.
yeah, I'm a
Just back
mass,
then.
yeah, I was studying mass communication, and we normally write theater reviews, so
Right,
it's
right,
always rap. So that's when the time I was able to see a lot
right.
of rappers. Tama ba yung term ko, rappers?
Rappers. Better rappers than reptiles.
Right.
But I've heard that too.
Right.
Rappers is the term.
So I want to ask this as a as a personal question. So, of course, there's a challenge when it comes to acting, like internalization. So, is there a secret in your part? How do you do that?
Well, my favorite quote about acting is memorize your lines and don't bump into any furniture. That's Anthony Hopkins.
there you go, there you go.
Internalization is really an optional term. It's a term we don't use in rep. When one of our directors was asked that
Right.
by an interviewer, a veteran actor, said, who I don't want to name, said, I don't know what you mean by that. And it's really it's really about doing your homework and being prepared. When you're truly prepared for something, there's no reason to be nervous. You just have to trust. You have to be in the moment, and it means if there is nervousness or stage fright, it probably means it's rediverted energy or lack of focus.
There you go.
When you are truly attuned to what you have to do, all the preparation, all the mind work that goes into the learning the lines, knowing the character, you just go right ahead and do it. But it's theater has taught me so much discipline that I've been able to apply to so many other fields,
Right.
and which is probably why I still manage to keep working
Yeah, I
till
can see
today.
that. So, can you help me with this? Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm correct. The last time that you were on stage, I mean, as an actor, I think it's Comedy of Tenor. Is that right?
No, that's one of my favorite productions.
Okay.
But my last play as
can't
an
remember,
actor
so yeah, please.
was The Dresser.
Oh, there you
Because,
go. Yeah,
in
there you go.
2019, that
Yes,
was
yes,
with
yes.
Audie Hamora, Teroy Guzman. Yeah, really. And Loy Arcenas directed that.
Okay, so that was 2019.
2019,
So
5 years ago.
of course you are okay. I'm not gonna talk about yet you as the artistic director. So are you still open to acting or maybe directing with them?
Absolutely, absolutely. Not just open to it; it's an obligation.
Oh my God, obligation. That's a
Right,
term.
right. Well,
Okay.
I'll be assistant directing Leo Rialp for Going Home to Christmas, our season
Right.
ender namin this year
Okay,
for
good.
2024. It's an original jukebox musical based on the music of Jose Marichan.
Right.
And Leo Rialp, who is a legendary stage and concert director, he was very prominent with OPM in the 70s with Ambivalent Crowd and Jose Marichan himself and Apple.
Right.
He knows the music so well, and he's college friends with Tito Joe, I think I'm able to say that. And I'll be assisting that production.
And how do you feel being the assistant director?
Incredibly excited.
Okay. And I'm also excited for you about
Thank you.
that. Okay, so since we're talking about you acting, your performances, I mean, from the past, so do you have a specific role that you want to play in the future that you haven't done?
Wow.
Like a straight play or maybe a musical
To
play?
preface that, I'm really more of a straight play actor than
Right.
a musical theater performer. I mean, there's so many far more qualified musical
Right,
theater
right, right.
performers. Although I've been in a few musicals, I've been lucky enough to have played some dream roles. But I'm outside rep. I've played Hamlet. I played the King of Siam. If there's probably one role, probably Hercule Poirot, the Belgian detective in Murder on the Orient Express. That's probably my one dream role left, but I think I'll be too busy to follow dream roles at this point. I'll be more concerned with the overall operations of Rep as its artistic director. But
who knows?
I'll leave that open. That's
Yeah,
completely open
maybe,
to that.
who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Talaga.
So, of course, we're talking about the plays and then that you want to do. Maybe in the future, I want to know or I want to ask, what's your favorite play that you did? Or maybe a musical play outside or within rap?
Okay. Favorite plays, there are too many. You know,
Yeah.
when you've done 120, ang hirap pumili. It's like choosing
Right, I
among your
agree.
children who's your
Right.
favorite. I think there are two that I'd like to name. One was Run for Your Wife. I did that in 2001 with Miguel Faustman, and 2015 with Jamie Wilson. I played the best friend. I wasn't even the lead there. There's a character named Stanley Gardner, who I've played 3 times, because Run for Your Wife has a sequel called Caught in the Net. We did that in 2004.
Okay.
When I I played this role 14 years apart from the first time. From 2001, I reprised in 2015, and it was a different experience. But I felt I was able to inhabit that character all the more, and it's an English farce. You can read
Yeah.
about it
Yes,
online.
yes, yes.
After that, I would say a comedy of tenors, which is the last big comedy I did
Yes. I
in
enjoyed that.
2018. It was a lot of fun, and that was with Lawrence Martinez, Sheila
Yes.
Valderrama, Isa Litton, it was, Noel Rayos. I love doing the farce comedies because they're so fast-paced and they're so energetic. Sabi nga ng director namin, si Zenaida Amador, before that, when you do a farce comedy, it has to be so briskly paced that the audience doesn't have time to think, that they're busy laughing, you wait for the crescendo, you time it, you come in with your next line. And she even said herself that she learned to act doing comedies because it's really that give and take. It's the sensitivity to rhythm, it's being able to be attuned with your audiences, and of course it's the teamwork that goes into it. There is no time or space for any personal agenda, because just to get the show running you have to be tight, you have to work as a team. And it's the comedies that I remember most fondly. So Run for Your Wife and Comedy of Tenors are two of Rep's most successful
Yes.
farce comedies.
I remember Noel Reyes in that comedy of tenors, singing that tenor. Oh my God,
Oh, yeah.
I remember that one. Oh my God, Jeremy is actually a man who knows a lot of things when it comes to theater, and we're gonna know more about him after this break.
And this break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Globe, atin ang mundo. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you.
Tune in to Daily Tribune's show aimed at addressing the needs and problems of our OFWs from different corners of the globe. Hear about their plights and success stories every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. only on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
Straight Talk dives deep into present issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
And you're still watching Spotlight, of course, with Jeremy Domingo. Welcome back.
Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome. So I'm enjoying my conversation with him on and off cam, actually. I'm not going to share with you what we talk about
That's
during
the
the
director's
commercial because it's off the record. I can't. I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry, Jeremy.
Tune in
Going
next time.
back, right. So we were talking about the production that you did. I mean, your dream role. Okay.
Yes.
So I want to know, what can you say about the current situation of theater in the Philippines at the moment? I mean, going back, any comparison or contrast during your time and this time?
I would say it's a night and day contrast.
Oh.
Theater now is so vibrant, and I think I can honestly say theater, which used to be a pastime, it was a hobby generations ago, is now a thriving industry. There are so many people who can work in theater full time, and that's what they do for a living. The Children's Theater for Young Audiences has up to 80 to 100 performances, and some performers do it full time. Nowadays, it's the age of the freelancer, so you can do a PETA jukebox musical,
Right.
and then you can run to Rep or run to Nineworks or do another. There's so many
Original play.
original productions as
Yeah.
well in Filipino, in English.
Yeah, right.
There's so much activity now that I think what's different now is I think there have been objectives that were achieved. When Zenaida Amador and Baby Barredo founded Rep in 1967, so we're 57 years old now, one of their missions was to create a theater-going habit.
Right.
There were very fewer. Rep was the only English-speaking company
Right.
back then when they started. Sabay sa PETA,
PETA,
1967,
yes.
and PETA is thriving now with One More Chance with another successful
Right.
jukebox musical, and Rep is still around. And there have been so many different companies. There's even an organization, Phil Stage, which is the association of the legitimate companies. We have 18 active members. And in any given time, there could be about, right now I think there are 8 to 10 productions. So audiences really have their pick, and I think that's the big thing, the big difference. between now and a generation ago. Even pre-pandemic, it's a different scene altogether. When we were deprived for 2.5 years, many of us were still doing readings on Zoom. We kept active. You can't keep actors down. And then when quarantine was lifted, and yung tawag din na revenge theater, people went back to theater because they were so deprived and starved for it. And now this has been the time of you can't have a conversation about audiences without mentioning millennials and Gen Z. But it's really there's so many young people who are so actively watching theater now. It's been an incredible boom.
Yeah.
So I think
And it's also a good thing that you mentioned earlier about the workshop, right, with
Yes,
Repertory.
yes.
And at the moment, I think they are ongoing or about.
Yes, we just started yesterday.
There you go.
We have our summer acting workshop is taking place at Mint College, where I'm also an instructor.
See?
And we have classes from preschool, from kids to preteens, teenagers, and adults, taught by our very best rep actors until. We have the workshop until the end of July. Although sarado na yung classes are ongoing, so sarado na yung registration namin. But it's, I believe, a 6-week intensive acting workshop, which we offer every year. Even during the pandemic, we had workshops online as well.
Right. And of course, before the pandemic, there's always the rep workshop that we know, and I know as well. Okay, so you are a seasoned actor, of course, a great actor. This is from me. So yeah, you're a great actor for me because I saw you many times. And also, actually, in case you didn't know, he's also a host.
Yes.
He's also a good host with a good voice.
Thank you.
All right. So this is another thing for you. Okay, apart from you being an actor, of course, you're the new artistic director of Repertory Philippines. Of course, the premier theater company in the Philippines. That's from me again. Of course. So when did you know, and what are you doing, or what were you doing back then when you heard?
When I found out, okay. Well, I am on my 3rd week of the job. I've been officially
June
their
1st,
artistic
right.
director since June 1st of this year. But I found out in mid-April, around April 19. I was in the middle of a voiceover for an event which is being produced by Tim Yap, by Yaparazzi.
Okay.
And I got the news, and it was I think during the rehearsal. But of course, like everything else, I had to practice what I preach. I was on the job. I was working, so I always teach my students, whatever in line with mental and emotional preparation, whatever personal business you have, you leave at the door because you're there for work. Of course, I was cheering inside, but it was in the middle of. I found out just before a voiceover.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
just before a long weekend voiceover.
And then, if I remember it correctly, you were announced during our lunch that you're the new artistic director.
Yes.
If I remember it correctly, I think it's a press con. Oh my God, that's Jeremy. That was our reaction, I think, with Oliver back
I
there.
see.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm excited, and I think a lot of people or a lot of testmen are also excited. You as the new artistic director. So, what are your plans? I mean, with Rep. I mean, I think this is a challenging and also an interesting, exciting job for you, right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
Big time.
please
Big
share
time.
it.
The major thing that the major challenge we have is we are moving to we have a new home venue.
Yes.
Eastwood City Walk is renovating 2 of their cinemas to create a 500-seat theater. It's also happening during Eastwood's 25th anniversary. We're opening with we're really excited about Jepoy and the Magic Circle.
Right.
It's an original musical by Rodi Vera and E.J. Yatco, but it's based on a short story, The Magic Circle, by Hilda Cordero Fernando. And we're opening that in October. That will christen the new theater.
Or June.
Malapit na yan. It's a countdown now. But I'm planning our first season for 2025, which will span the whole year from January to December, but maybe 4 to 5 productions. That's going to be my first. And more importantly, it's really how do we bring 57 years of history in Makati? Well, 47 in Makati, 10 in Mandaluyong. I hope there are some people who still remember the Shangri-La Theater, the William J. Shaw Theater in Shangri-La.
That's where I first saw Rep.
Right, yeah. We had great audiences there. We were there for 10 years, from 92 to 02, I believe. So it's bringing that history and moving it north
to a different home.
To a different home. So it's really exciting. We're still in the planning stages. So exciting talaga. I mean, there's been an overwhelming amount of support and positivity from the theater community. Everyone has been very supportive and excited. O ano bang gagawin mo? Find out. We'll find out.
And we are actually last down to the productions with rap, right?
That's right.
So that's the Jepoy, and then the grand musical,
Yes,
the
going home to
Christmas
Christmas,
musical.
yeah. Actually, we're because we just opened and
Yeah,
like
please, yeah.
so
I love that show.
yeah, we're running I Love You, You're Perfect Now Change,
Right,
directed by
right.
Menchu Lauchenko Yulo. We had an opening weekend last week, which was fabulous, very well received. We have
Yeah,
three
please
more
watch it.
weekends at RCBC Plaza. You can buy your tickets at Ticket World and Ticket to Me. Also at the Rep Box office, you can just walk in and buy tickets
Right.
there. And it's a beautiful show. It's funny, it's romantic, it's poignant, and it's everything a great rep musical should be. We have a great cast: Gian Magdangal, Marvin Ong, Gabby Padilla, and Crystal Kane. We have a cast of 4 playing 40 people. That's all I'll say. But it's the second longest running off-Broadway musical, so
Yes.
it'll be a
And
real
mention
treat for
it's
audiences.
directed by Menchu.
Menchu Lauchenko Yulo, who actually it's her first time to direct in 12 years for Rep,
Right.
so it's a homecoming. And she's put together a beautiful, wonderful show, and I'd like to invite everyone to come and watch.
This is the follow-up after Jekyll and Hyde.
Yes,
Is that
she
right?
last directed Jekyll and Hyde in 2012 in Onstage Greenbelt.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
another really successful musical.
Good. So we're talking about the plans with Rep. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you, how do you see yourself? I mean, are you still doing acting, or are you directing as artistic director in 5 years from now?
We'll have to wait and see. Depends on how well things go now. I'd
Right.
certainly like to, because it's a matter of shifting gears. I
Right.
think my focus now is really looking on the big picture. It's like the transition when I had been acting for 7 years before I directed my first play. I did The Diary of Anne Frank in 1997, I think, and
my God, that
it
was
was
7.
really the skill set required for an actor. It's great preparation, but then again, not all directors are actors, and vice
Right.
versa. But I realized I love that process because it made me zoom out and look at the big picture and manage everything. So that when I went back to becoming an actor, it made me appreciate acting even more, because ako lang ako lang inaasikaso ko. I don't have to be a parent. I don't have to run around, chase down the designers and the whole cast. But it's something that I really enjoy doing. And this is a big responsibility because there is so much history of rep. Like I said, 57 years that that we have to continue. That I worked with some very generous mentors, and this is also my way of giving back. I mean, I was lucky enough to be trained by Amador Barredo, Miguel Faustman, Mari Avellana, Jonas Sebastian, Tony Mabesa from Dulaang UP. So everything that I learned from them, it's really up to me now to pass on to the next generation.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask this earlier. So of course, the last time you acted was 2019.
2019, 5 years ago.
So what do you miss about acting?
What do I miss about acting? I miss
Rehearsals.
I miss the process.
Okay.
I miss that first reading, and
Yeah,
that
the
having to use your instincts, and just playing in a small. I really prefer, well, my choice. I prefer doing comedy. I prefer doing straight plays to musicals
Yes.
and comedies to dramas. But I'm open to any challenge,
Right.
especially if I could sing it. But the Dresser was an intimate drama. There were about maybe 7 or 8 people. Missy Maramara, Tami Monso, Justine Narciso. We had a nice Jaime Del Mundo. We had a nice small cast. And it was something that I like that phrase, something you get to sink your teeth into. Loy Arsenas, I was working with for the very first time. So a production is really, it's such a finite experience. It has a beginning, a middle, and the end, and a process that takes you through it. And at the end of it, it becomes a great memory. And you make friends for life in the theater. My closest friends now for the last decades are fellow actors as well. But I miss that process where being a part of a team where you have a very specific goal in mind, and that's to put on the best show
The show,
possible.
the one goal, of course. And of course, the show must go on as always.
Absolutely.
Right. And we've known you as a great actor, right? So of course, I want to know, or we want to know, what's your advice to aspiring actors out there?
Okay. never stop learning. Theater and the craft of acting is a never-ending process. Even if you, okay, Laurence Olivier, the most famous English actor of all time, in his 70s, he started doing goofy comedies. He was a goofy Lolo in A Little Romance and other comedies. Anthony Hopkins, even, I mean, you can reach your 70s and 80s and still have something to learn. And it's a choice. You can always retire at an early age. And you can stop and do something else. But if you are an actor, never stop refining your craft. It keeps you young. It gives you something to always look forward to because there's always something new to learn. No one really truly masters a craft. I mean,
Right.
you maybe achieve a degree of proficiency, but you then challenge yourself and do something entirely different. If you're used to doing dramas in Filipino, try doing musicals in English or vice versa. I found, I mean, after having tried everything, I'd be in the ensemble, I'd be in the chorus, I'd have walk-on roles, I would do production work, but I loved acting in comedies. I loved and then once in a while we would do a thriller or a drama or a musical now and then. I always embraced the challenge of my next production. And that was always something, I think the uncertainty of it makes it really exciting, gives you something to look forward to. And that's something where the reward, I mean, theater, okay, but it's not for everyone. You have to be tough. You have to be resilient.
I agree.
You have to, theater, a life in the theater teaches you to deal with disappointment,
Yeah.
with rejection, with embarrassment sometimes, and that's all part of it. And if you surmount that, and if you're tough and you take it, the rewards manifest differently. Acclaim, uh, better roles in the future. It may not bring you material wealth, but it gives you the training if you want to go into the movies or TV. Many other actors that I worked with in Dulang UP, for instance, are now the most successful TV directors in Philippine television. So there are always many other areas of the entertainment industry that you can go back to. But every so often you'll ask them, well, they really miss the theater. You miss the camaraderie.
Right.
I do, outside the theater, I would do a lot of events, and I teach. I've been an instructor at Mint College
That's good.
for 9 years now. So there are also many different areas in the entertainment and in the entertainment industry and the academe na pwede mong pasukan with theater training. Yeah.
And I like coming from you that you mentioned all of the things like rejection, disappointment, and it's true. Regardless
yeah,
if
it's
you're an
a-
actor or a production staff,
Oh,
you
yeah.
will always feel that when you're in theater, right?
Mhm.
Okay, as a final question for you, so what's your secret for being in the industry for quite a while now? I mean, you've been in the industry and you didn't stop. So, what keeps you going and what motivates you to go?
Tenacity.
Oh, there you go.
I love what I do. I always find something interesting. I think it's a feel. I don't want to be facetious by saying this, but if like everything else, if you love it, if you nurture it, it loves you back. It takes care of you.
Right.
I don't. I mean, there's. Oh yeah, I look back and there's so many cringe-worthy experiences. There's some experiences I'd rather not relive, but I learned from every single one of them. And until this responsibility came along, now I really don't have a choice. But it's an industry that I love in an organization that I grew up in and I've been a part of in and out for 34 years. But same as my answer before, you don't stop learning. Find something new. Be matyaga with it. Work hard and take pride in the work that you do.
Right. Okay.
You know.
So yeah, love and passion for your craft, sabi nga. Right. Okay, thank you so much. I had so much fun with you. I've learned a lot from you. All right, so
thank you.
at this point, is there anything that you would like to say? Invite our viewers, I mean the projects, anything for
Okay.
Rep, please go ahead.
Right. Well, like I mentioned earlier, thank you, Kim. We are running. We have a 4-week run where we have 3 weeks to go. Don't fail to catch I Love You, You're Perfect Now Change, directed by Menchu Lauchenko Yulo, starring Gian, Crystal, Gabby, and Marvin. You'll be on a first-name basis with them after you see this wonderful play. We're at William J. Sorry. See, no,
it's okay.
wishful thinking. We're at the Carlos P. Romulo Theater at RCBC Plaza, weekends till July 6. You can also look at our the Rep website, www.repertoryphilippines.ph, and check out Facebook, Instagram, TikTok for show dates and ticket prices. And I hope to see you at the theater.
Right. Okay. Wala na bang iba? Baka meron pa.
Marami pa yun
Oh,
this season,
you're also
yeah.
you're hosting. You have hosting stints, diba? So
Not for now.
What?
I'm fully dedicated to Rep. for
Rep.
the
Okay.
meantime,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. All right.
as its artistic director. But again, we have an exciting season. We're in our 87th season
Right.
now. We have Jepoy and the Magic Circle opening in October sa Eastwood City Walk in a brand new theater. We have Going Home to Christmas, a Jose Marichan musical, on November 29 sa RCBC ulit yun. So we have,
Original to, diba?
It's an original play. We, directed by Leo Rialp, and we have 4 writers working on the project.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, including Robbie Guevara, Luna Inocean, Joel Trinidad,
I didn't know
and Kathy
Robbie.
Azanza helped out as well. So it's gonna be it's an exciting year. We're
Yeah,
only,
it's a musical.
wala pa tayo halfway through, but it's
Right.
a fun season. Yeah.
So yeah, abangan nyo yan with, of course, with the premier theater company in the Philippines. Syempre, Rep yan. Thank you so much again, Jeremy. Until next time, okay?
Maraming salamat. My
Oh,
pleasure.
welcome. So
Thank
there you have it, guys and dolls. I hope you enjoyed today's episode about theater and artistry with Jeremy. Thank you for watching. See you next time. This has been your Spotlight.